Imagine this. A French farmer, Maurice Chevalier, lives to be 106.
An incredible age.
Right. But now, picture his daily routine. Smoked a pipe every morning with coffee, drank wine with every single meal.
Okay.
Used butter, like really generously in his cooking, and a gym. Forget it. Never went near one.
So basically breaking every modern health rule we hear about.
Exactly. By all our current standards, he was doing everything, quote unquote, wrong. Yet when he passed away, his doctor, absolutely astonished, said his internal organs looked like those of a man maybe 70 years old.
Wow. That's genuinely baffling.
It really is, isn't it? So what if the whole path to a long, vibrant life isn't what we've been sold? What if everything we think we know about longevity is, well, kind of backwards? Okay, let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here, based on the research we've looked at, is that Maurice isn't just some, statistical blip, a one-off.
He's not just an outlier.
No, he actually represents something researchers are now calling the longevity paradox.
The longevity paradox.
Okay. Yeah, it refers to these people, sometimes called superagers. They seem to just sail through life, defying all the conventional health wisdom, living these incredibly long, vital, and surprisingly healthy lives.
And scientists have been scratching their heads about this.
For generations.
Yeah.
Completely baffled. But now, by asking different kinds of questions, we're starting to uncover some hidden factors. Things that seem to matter much, much more than you've probably ever been told.
Hidden factor.
Exactly. So our mission in this deep dive is really to explore these surprising insights, because they could fundamentally change how you think about aging, about health.
Shifting the focus away from just diet and exercise.
Precisely. Looking at what these incredibly long-lived people actually have in common, beyond the usual stuff.
Okay, so where did the first big clue come from? You mentioned asking different questions.
Right. Well, the first real hint that something fundamentally different was going on emerged from this tiny village, tucked away in the Italian countryside.
An Italian village. Tell me about it.
Picture this. The smoking rate there was actually 3 times the national average for Italy.
3 times? And longevity.
That's the paradox. Residents were living to 100 at rates that just, they stun the scientists.
So not exactly health nets then.
Not at all. They drank their wine daily, enjoyed pasta without a second thought. Definitely no one was, tracking macros or doing HIIT workouts.
But their health.
Their cardiovascular systems. The sources describe them as functioning like machines. Incredibly resilient, youthful.
Okay, so the immediate thought is genetics, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe some secret local olive oil, that kind of thing.
That's exactly what the researchers assumed initially. I mean, it's the logical place to start.
Makes sense.
But when they did the deep dive, exhaustive blood tests on these centenarians, what they found was, frankly, extraordinary.
No Medicine.
Nope, it wasn't some unique genetic marker shielding them, and it wasn't a specific super diet or a forgotten exercise routine either.
So what was it?
The breakthrough, like you said, came when they flipped the question. They stopped obsessing over what these folks weren't doing.
What bad habits they didn't have.
Exactly. And instead, they started paying really close attention to what they were doing. The patterns in their daily lives, their attitudes.
Okay. Looking for the positive actions, not just the avoided negatives.
Precisely. And what they uncovered was this pattern. So simple, really. So accessible to almost anyone. It almost felt too easy to be the secret to living over a century.
Something fundamental.
Something fundamental about how we approach life itself.
And one of the biggest insights you see in that village, you see it perfectly in Maurice, was this idea of purpose.
Purpose. Okay, but not like a corporate mission statement.
No, not that kind of abstract self-help book thing.
Yeah.
This was deeper, more primal. A real drive that fueled his existence.
A reason to get out of
a
bed.
Powerful reason. A sense that he was needed that went way beyond just his own wants. And here's where it gets really interesting. This deep purpose, this why, it seemed to literally make his cells repair themselves faster than they were aging.
How could they even tell that?
Telomeres. You know those protective caps on the ends of our chromosomes? Yeah. Like the plastic tips on shoelaces.
Right. They shorten as we age or with stress. They're like a biological clock.
Exactly. Well, when they measured Maurice's telomeres, get this, they were longer than most 30-year-olds.
Seriously, despite the smoking, the wine.
Despite everything, his purpose, his attitude, it was somehow protecting those telomeres, maybe even lengthening them. Completely defied expectations.
Wow. Okay, so what this points to, and the sources really dig into this, is a pretty profound truth. chronic stress might be the real killer here.
More than the pipe or the butter.
Potentially, yes. It's not necessarily those external things in isolation. It's the constant worry, the guilt, that gnawing anxiety about, am I doing this right? Am I healthy enough?
The mental burden of trying to be perfectly healthy.
Exactly. That seems to accelerate aging faster than almost anything else, Maurice. He never worried about his habits. Why? Because to him, they weren't vices.
They were just life.
You were rituals of joy, moments of pleasure, part of his connection to his community, his culture. And that mindset, that lack of guilt and fear, it literally changed his biology.
Protected him somehow.
It shielded him from the very things we think should have harmed him, which really makes you think. Maybe the strict response you get from feeling guilty about something is actually worse for you than the thing itself.
That internal battle. Wow. Oh, okay. That connects perfectly to the second insight you mentioned.
Yeah.
Social cohesion.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about having people around, was it?
No, it was deeper than just, having friends. For Maurice, even at 95, it was about having a real role, a genuine responsibility.
You needed.
Truly neat. He was like the unofficial mayor, you know, settling arguments, giving advice, helping neighbors, that feeling of genuinely mattering to other people.
It gave him a reason beyond himself.
Yes. And it created this powerful biological imperative. His body was getting the message. Stay strong, stay healthy, people depend on you.
A biological signal to keep going.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, well, it highlights a real challenge today, doesn't it? Community feels different now.
Replaced by social media feeds, maybe?
Yeah.
Purpose sometimes feels like just being productive.
Right. And we can end up feeling isolated even when we're technically connected. This research really underscores it. Being genuinely needed by others, having that indispensable role, it's not just nice for morale, it's a potent boost to your physical health, longevity.
It tells your body, stick around, you're important.
Pretty much, you're not done yet.
It really makes you wonder how many of us feel that irreplaceable today. It's a stark contrast. Okay, so we have purpose, being needed. What about Maurice's internal state? You mentioned the lack of worry.
Ah, yes. The third secret, his relationship with time. This was crucial. He didn't live in the past, dwelling on regrets. And he wasn't constantly anxious about the future, worrying about his health or what might happen.
He was just present.
Fully present in each moment. Savoring the wine, the pipe smoke, the feeling of the earth when he was farming. Just completely engaged with right now.
Taking it all in.
And this presence, this wasn't just a mental trick. It created a physiological state of, well, the sources call it chronic calm in his nervous system.
Chronic calm, not just occasional relaxation.
Exactly. A sustained state that acted like a shield, reducing the wear and tear from stress hormones, from inflammation.
Wow, okay, so less internal stress.
Which brings us to something really interesting they found in his blood work. Markers of hormetic stress.
Hormetic stress, what's that? Sounds counterintuitive.
It is, a bit. It's basically a low level of beneficial stress, the kind that actually makes your cells stronger, more resilient. Think of lifting weights. The stress makes the muscle grow back stronger.
Okay, like a biological training effect.
Exactly. And the theory is the very small amount of, let's call them toxins, from his tobacco and alcohol, combined with his totally stress-free, joyful attitude towards them,
triggered this beneficial response.
It seems so. It essentially trained his cells to handle stress better, including the stress of aging itself. So here's the provocative question.
I'm ready.
What if the real killer isn't the occasional glass of wine or puff of a pipe, but the fear and the guilt you attach to it? That fear negates any potential hormetic benefit and just triggers harmful chronic stress instead.
Whoa. So the worry is worse than the vice. That turns everything on its head.
Doesn't it? It suggests the possibility that small exposures, approached without fear, could even be strengthening.
Mind blown. Okay, speaking of rethinking things, the fourth discovery was his sleep. Also not what we'd expect.
Definitely not. Forget the rigid rules.
Yeah.
8 hours. Perfect darkness, blackout curtains, sleep trackers.
You didn't do any of that.
No. He slept when he was tired, took naps when he felt like it, woke up naturally, usually with the sun, no alarm clock jarring him awake.
He just listened to his body.
Exactly. He trusted his body's inherent rhythms instead of fighting them with schedules.
And the effect of that?
It allowed his circadian rhythms, that natural 24-hour body clock, to sync up perfectly with natural light cycles and, crucially, with his own energy levels.
Biological harmony.
Precisely. Which meant his body could repair and regenerate incredibly effectively during sleep. Far better than someone half his age fighting their own biology, stressed and sleep deprived.
Makes sense. Trusting the body's wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving beyond the physical. What about his mind? The fifth secret.
Cognitive reserve. Maurice wasn't just long-lived, he was sharp. And a key part of that was his deep, lifelong curiosity.
You like to learn.
Voraciously, he had this insatiable desire to understand things, keeping his mind constantly active, constantly engaged, right to the very end.
Even in old age.
Absolutely. At 100, he was still learning new things, asking sharp questions, and here's a big one. He was willing to change his opinions based on new information.
Mental flexibility.
Exactly. That's not just about preventing cognitive decline, though it helps. It's about maintaining the sense of wonder, of possibility. It keeps your whole system feeling younger, more adaptable.
Like exercising the brain keeps it resilient.
You got it. That constant engagement, that curiosity, it actively protects the brain. It builds new pathways, fosters resilience against the rigidity that can come with age. It really builds that reserve.
A mind that stops learning really does stop living, in a way.
That seems to be the message.
Okay, the sixth secret brings us back to something every day.
Mm.
Food. You said it wasn't just what he ate.
Right. It was much more about how he ate and maybe even more critically, with whom.
The social aspect again.
Yes, but also the attitude. Meals for Maurice weren't just about fueling up. They were ceremonies, celebrations, chances to connect deeply with family, with friends.
Savoring it.
Savoring every flavor, expressing real gratitude. Now, contrast that with how we often eat today.
Rushing. Stressed. Checking our phones. Counting every calorie or nutrient. Feeling guilty.
Precisely. And there's a huge physiological difference.
How so?
When you eat with joy, with gratitude, with presence, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system.
The rest and digest system.
Exactly. The opposite of fight or flight. This state primes your body for optimal digestion. It lowers inflammation system-wide, and it helps you absorb and use nutrients much more effectively.
So the state you're in when you eat matters as much as the food.
It appears so.
Oh.
Maurice ate intuitively. Hungry. Eat. Satisfied. Stop. Chose foods he enjoyed, never counted a calorie or worried about it.
And the result?
A naturally healthy weight, a robust metabolism well into his hundreds. Freedom from food anxiety seems key.
That's powerful. The experience matters. Okay, number 7.
His deep connection to nature.
Not just going for hikes, you mean?
No, much more fundamental. He lived in harmony with nature. As a farmer, his life was governed by the seasons, the weather, the cycles of planting, growing, harvesting.
Woven into the natural world.
Completely. And this constant, deep connection, it kept his hormones balanced, it synced his body clock with the Earth's rhythms, it calmed his nervous system in a way that, well, our modern indoor lives struggle to match.
We're often disconnected from those cycles.
Hugely. And research now is really confirming what Maurice knew instinctively. Being disconnected from nature is a significant driver of premature aging, chronic stress.
So even small things help. Getting outside more.
Absolutely. A daily walk, tending a few plants, just paying attention to the seasons changing. It can have measurable positive effects on your biology.
Good reminder. Okay, number 8 sounds tricky. His approach to conflict and stress. How did he handle life's difficulties?
Very effectively, it seems. He didn't avoid conflict. If there was a problem, he faced it.
Didn't bury his head in the sand.
No, but neither did he just stew on it endlessly. He didn't ruminate.
So what did he do?
He faced problems directly, said what needed saying, made peace if he could, and then, this is crucial, he let it go. Completely.
Didn't carry grudges or resentment?
Exactly. No emotional baggage dragging him down.
And the biological benefit of that?
Huge. This ability to process stress, to release it rather than carrying it as tension or anger, it kept his immune system strong and his inflammation levels incredibly low. All his life.
Unlike avoiding conflict, which builds internal stress.
Or ruminating, which keeps stress hormones constantly high. Both are damaging. Maurice found that healthy middle path. Engage, resolve, release, move on. Preserved his inner peace and his biology.
Resolve and release. Okay, number 9 is fascinatingly paradoxical. He never tried to live longer.
Right. It totally challenges the whole modern health obsession.
He wasn't aiming for a 106.
His focus wasn't on extending life. It was on experiencing it fully, squeezing every drop of joy, meaning connection out of each day he had.
Quality over quantity.
Deeply. And this paradoxical attitude, caring intensely about the quality of the moment, but being totally unattached to the quantity of days ahead, it created this state of relaxed engagement.
Relaxed engagement. I like that.
He wasn't striving for longevity. He was just living fully.
It's interesting, isn't it? You see people obsessed with optimizing every little health detail, and they often seem anxious, stressed.
Exactly. Maurice's life suggests maybe, just maybe, the secret to longevity is to forget about longevity. Focus instead on what makes life feel rich and worthwhile now.
Let go of the outcome, embrace the process. Wow. Okay, final one, number 10.
His fundamental attitude toward aging itself.
How did he view getting older?
Not as a disease to be fought, not a problem to solve, not an enemy. He saw aging as natural, a process to be embraced, with grace, curiosity, even excitement.
He welcomed it.
He welcomed each stage, his 70s, 80s, 90s, even his hundreds. He approached them like new adventures with that same sense of wonder and possibility most of us lose after childhood.
That's incredible. And that positive attitude, it had a biological effect, too.
Astonishingly, yes. The research suggests this positive relationship with aging literally influenced his gene expression. It actively slowed down the cellular damage normally associated with getting older.
His mindset shifted his biology again.
Made the whole process gentler, more gradual, less of a decline, more of a continuation. So what does all this incredible story, these 10 insights, what does it all mean for you listening right now?
Well, the big takeaway for me from Maurice and these other superagers seems incredibly clear. Your attitude matters, maybe more than anything else.
Your attitude toward your choices, your internal story.
Your emotional response to life, yeah. It seems more crucial for longevity and just feeling alive than the specific choices themselves.
Now, that's not a free pass for reckless living, obviously.
No, definitely not. It feels more like a call for conscious living, aware living.
Right. Because the stress, the guilt, the fear that we often wrap around our health decisions today that might actually be doing more damage right down at the cellular level.
Than the glass of wine or the piece of cake you're so worried about.
It's a strong possibility based on this evidence.
So the practical application for us, for you listening.
It could be truly liberating. If you choose to have that glass of wine, maybe approach it with real joy, gratitude, savor it instead of feeling that little pang of guilt.
Or if you eat something unhealthy, enjoy it fully without beating yourself up.
Exactly. Or if you consciously decide to break a health rule you've set for yourself, do it with self-compassion, not shame. That shift in attitude, it can literally change how your body responds to everything.
Because Maurice thrived, not just despite his habits, but maybe partly because of his attitude towards them.
It seems that way. He approached life with curiosity, gratitude, generosity, courage, acceptance. And that created this incredibly powerful, protective biological environment inside him.
And the amazing thing is, you listening, you have the power to create that same kind of environment in your own body, starting right now. It's about shifting focus, maybe less obsessing over every single tiny decision, every should or shouldn't.
And more towards
the quality of your attention, the depth of your connections with others, the strength of your own unique purpose, and finding that deep peace in your nervous system.
that chronic calm.
Yes. Because those things, as Maurice shows us so vividly, seem to determine not just how long you live, but much more importantly, how truly alive you feel for whatever time you have.
Which brings us back to that important question. What will you choose to focus on to truly live?
It's a choice, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Will you keep living in fear of making the wrong choice, caught in that internal battle?
Yeah.
Or could you maybe start embracing the kind of joyful acceptance, that deep presence, that sense of purpose that let Maurice thrive for over a century, even while breaking all the rules?
It's a powerful alternative.
Remember, the most potent medicine you have, it probably isn't in a pill or a super strict diet plan. It's already within you.
In our attitude.
In your attitude, your relationships, your purpose, and your ability to just embrace this moment with wonder and with gratitude.